Hey, AfterBuzzers, it's Thursday, which means Supernatural is back for you, for us to discuss. We're talking all about Season 11, Episode 19, The Chitters, coming at you right now.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Carry on my wayward son.
If we can't think of a song to play, what better song to play than Don't You Cry No More?
This is the best song.
It's the best song. We've just decided that this is just the best song of all time.
And it just means supernatural.
Carry On My Wayward Son by Kansas. It just means supernatural. Every time I hear it now on the radio or anywhere else, it's back to supernatural. Every time. You too? Mm-hmm. Every time. Hey guys, I'm Lyndsey Wegner. You can tweet me at Lyndsey Wegner, and I'm joined by Katie Campbell.
Hey guys, you can find me on Twitter at Katie E.E. Campbell. That's Katie with 3 E's Campbell.
We had a little 3-week break, which drives me insane because all I want to do is watch Supernatural and find out what's going on.
Yeah.
And they hold off and they keep us coming back for more, and we're back now, and hopefully no more breaks.
No more breaks.
No more breaks.
Straight through the rest of the season, but then there's the summer break.
Well, the summer break.
At least we have season 12.
But we can power through for the next 4 episodes.
Yeah.
Katie, initial impressions of this week's episode, The Chitters.
It was fun. It was like the case of the week type of thing again. You know, I don't know how many times. We have 4 episodes left, so we might get that again. But I always enjoy those episodes. It was a little weird. I think they were called Basan. Mm-hmm. They were a little strange. There were orgies going on. It was just a little weird, but it was fun.
I also thought it was, it's the Monster of the Week episode, which I don't mind if it's progressing the story or something or adds something. I thought we were maybe going to get some people to help out Sam and Dean. No, that didn't happen.
Yeah, that was a little weird though. I mean, it was nice and it was sweet, but at the same time, I would feel weird if they jumped along for the rest of the season. I don't know. Maybe
not in every episode, but as somebody they can kind of call upon when they need something type of thing, like it was Kevin or, Rufus, when they needed certain people along the way to kind of help out. But let's talk about the episode that takes place initially in Colorado. 2 boys are going fishing, Maddie and Jesse, and we find out that one of the boys is gay, which I thought that was kind of great to bring in, and how the brother was like, you just need to be careful. This is, new territory. But I think the more that we bring this into television shows and movies, it makes it a little bit more socially acceptable. And the kids that are, maybe scared to talk about this or to come out, it makes it more acceptable and people more understanding of it. Times are changing, all of that stuff. And I just thought it was a really good way to open the episode, really positive.
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful thing. And I love the bond between the 2 brothers in general too, and the older brother's looking out for him. No matter what, he's always going to look out for him. And I just knew it was going to go south though, which is sad. They were really trying to get us to love these characters. They kind of built them up. Sometimes they don't build the characters up that much. But they did.
They did. And, they talk about wanting to move to California, and he's got this buffalo nickel, and he's going to sell it, and once he's old enough, he'll take them there.
Wait, it was worth $900?
His collection.
Oh, I thought
the
that
entire
one
collection.
Coin was worth $900.
I was at Trader Joe's yesterday, and I was giving her, change, and I had some pennies, and I pulled out this penny, and on the back of it, it said 1 cent. And I recognized that it must have been an older penny, so I looked at the front, 1945.
Wow.
I was like, I'm going to hold on to that one.
Did you hold on to it?
It's probably worth a dime.
Yeah.
But
it's
1945.
worth 1 penny.
Well, yeah, but it might be worth more because it's older.
Is that a thing?
It's 55, 65, 70. Is it 76 years old, or is my math really bad? Is it 66 or 76 years old? 45.
70.
It's 76 years old. Mm-hmm. That's old.
So maybe this buffalo nickel was worth some more than just a nickel.
Yeah. So, anyway, but talking about supernatural, Jesse goes to go to the bathroom, and Maddie gets taken by something. Jesse tries to chase after him. We know what's going to happen. Somebody's not going to make it if both of them don't make it. And we flash forward to Sam and Dean at the bunker, still talking about that it's been a week that Cass has been gone. But they find out that there's a mutant creature with green eyes.
Yes, I just Katie. Want to say, you know, he's very concerned about Cass and, you know, his vessel, because Lucifer's in it and Amara has beef with God and with Lucifer, and he touched upon that. And Sam's saying, you know, well, we haven't heard anything, you know, obviously he cares about Cass, but he's not as concerned as Dean. Do you think that Cass is in danger because she has him?
Boo just mentioned that they wanted to know if Cassifer was alive, but we didn't get to see Cass at all, so we don't know. I think that, I mean, from the little mini, you know, recap they showed at the beginning of the episode, Amara saying this, if she tortures Cassifer, God potentially could show himself. Yeah. So I don't think that she's going to kill Cassifer. I think she's going to torture him to make God appear.
Right.
So hopefully he's still alive.
And I feel like there's something there, whether she was betrayed by Lucifer or not in the past. You know, she's saying she was. I think that she calls him nephew. There's always going to be some kind of a bond. Like maybe they got along before all of that stuff went down. So, you know, you're always going to have a place there for somebody. So maybe she won't kill Lucifer. I don't know.
But Dean also said that she has no ties to Cass.
Right.
So that potentially could hurt his chances, I would think, but let's hope not, and hopefully we'll get to see a little bit more of this next week. They do decide to go after this case, the mutants with the green eyes. Could they potentially be changing bodies? Libby is this victim that Claudia is the only witness to, but they were on a marijuana testing.
Is her name was Corey? Yeah.
Oh, is it Corey?
I believe so.
Is it Corey? I'm sorry, I wrote Claudia.
No, it's okay.
I wasn't paying attention. And they're in Colorado. 6 people are missing, mostly local. Libby was doing this pot tasting tour. Her friend was the only witness. 27 years ago, 12 people went missing, and 27 before that, 8 were missing. And the deputy points out, is she the sheriff? That young girl?
Yeah, I think so.
She's the sheriff. She points out that this has only been kind of going on for 50 years because that's as old as the town is.
Yeah.
So this only goes back that long, and people have their thoughts about, is it because it was buried on ancient burial ground or the coal? You know, they don't really know why this is happening.
And she's really only concerned, you know, about the 6 that are going missing under her watch, but I feel like the circumstances are too coincidental for it to not just be, you know, for it to just be people leaving town because it's boring there, they're tired of it, they want to get out, go do something in the big city, wherever that is.
2 patterns, 27 years, you know, 27 years prior, and then 27 years before that, and then now. That's 3 times. That's way too coincidental in my mind to think that it's just people wanting to get out of the town because they're bored or because they're running off. Right. I agree with you. So Dean interviews Corey, and she kind of describes this mutant as being naked, not sure if it was a man, but they have green eyes, no hair. Libby was shivering, and this sound of buzzing was coming from her. And Dean points out that this was not something that pot would really make it. It's got to be something more than just that, like a bad trip. And Sam says the old sheriff went missing, and they talked to Ada Fraser, and she says that Pete, who is the old sheriff,
Pete was her husband.
Was her husband.
Her second husband.
But she was the sheriff.
The sheriff at the time, the 27 years ago was happening, was Sheriff, I have his name right here.
Man, I am just...
Sheriff Cochran.
Was Sheriff Cochran. Okay, who comes back in later. Man, I just was not... There was too much going on. Sorry, guys.
No, that's okay.
Pete, her husband, though, was cheating. He disappeared. Dolores and Missy also went missing. But they didn't find this out till later.
So wait, people saw him in the town like hooking up with people in public, canoodling. Did they not notice? I mean, at that point, he probably was pale, green eyes, right? Or do you think he was just cheating on her in the beginning anyway? I feel like
he was cheating on her, and then
that
maybe
happened.
One of the women got bit, and then the woman went after him.
Okay.
To keep him a part of the nest.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. She mentions that that her grandmother said that Pete got the chitters, which is a sound that comes, and they're having orgies in the woods. They disappear, and the reason their eyes go green is because they're all revved up with lust.
What? Yeah, this is the grand's, her thought process on what's happening. But why didn't anybody, I wonder, was she ever questioned? I mean, I don't think she's around anymore. Her grand used to say, right? Mm-hmm. She's not really around, but Ada's getting out of town to go stay with her sister because all this stuff is going on, and it's fishy and it's weird and happened before. But somebody should have been questioning the gran, or maybe she was looked at like crazy if she was saying those things.
Well, I mean, definitely sounds like her grandmother clearly knew about this, or knows supernatural information and is burning the white sage to keep these things away. So, I mean, at the time, it would have been nice if someone had interviewed her or found out, or if maybe Ada has some sort of power or something too.
Oh. Like, power is in what way?
Like, I look at, this reminds me of the movie Practical Magic.
I've never seen it.
Okay, it's Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock. It's such a cute movie, and they both look amazing. And they're Stockard Channing's in it, and Diane Wiest, and they're like witches.
Yeah.
And so they burn all this stuff, and they have all these like, the girls dance naked under the full moon. So it kind of reminds me of like the witchcraft of it a little bit, which reminds me of Rowena then.
Yeah.
And maybe this Ada has something a little bit to do with it.
I feel like she's just listening to her gran though. And
sure, it's she's not a part of anything bad, but maybe that she would have information, or
she had the hots for Sam too. And I love their reactions when people, when women say things like that to them, and Sam's is always the same. It's kind of like, oh, I'm a little uncomfortable right now. I don't really know what to say. And
Dean completely welcomes it and accepts it.
Yeah, most times, yes.
Usually ends up hanging out with them. So we fast forward to two kids walking near an underpass alleyway with graffiti, and the Chitters pop out and they jump the guy. The girl gets away, so she
left him in the dust.
She did. Well, I would run away too to get help.
But was that her boyfriend?
You'd stay there?
I'd probably fight back if it was somebody that I cared about.
There were like 3 of them.
Yeah, but you gotta I don't know.
If I had some sort of weapon.
Maybe, but I would have been sad if I lost my really good friend, boyfriend, whatever he was, or if it was, one of just a best friend or anything, or somebody I cared about, like, if I didn't fight. And I think that was in her head, too, later. She's like, I just ran. I didn't know what to do.
If my boyfriend couldn't take them, I know I'm a strong girl, but if my own boyfriend couldn't take them, I'm probably not going to be able to kill these things.
Okay.
These mutant creatures. So I'm going to run and get help to justify and like
tell people about what's going on
so we can get rid of this, so this isn't happening anymore, so that there's more people going, wait a second, this is really what's happening, that people aren't making this up, this isn't some like fake creature, this is real.
Well, it's blowing my mind a little bit. Maybe it's just too small of a town that this is just getting by and swept under the rug every 27 years, because the people right there in that alleyway were the coach, a teacher. If this is happening to everybody in the town, I mean, this is a red flag. How is this getting swept under the rug?
Well, and I think this is why she had to go and tell somebody, because she's like, look, these are people in our town that have disappeared, and they're doing this. Mm-hmm. So she had to go tell them so that they can come get to the bottom of it. We see Libby in the woods. Dean is investigating, and a man jumps out and like cuts one of a Chitter's heads off, and stabs it. And we see Jesse and Caesar, and right away I know it's Jesse.
Yeah, they did a really good job casting the little boy as him. I felt like they looked very similar. Mm-hmm.
I liked him. I thought he looked familiar too. And I looked him up on IMDb, and he's done a bunch of stuff, but I didn't recognize anything specific that I could remember him from, but he looked familiar. They're hunters, and they mentioned that, as you said earlier, Katie, the Bisan originated in Malaysia. It's a cicada spirit, and the buzzing is a mating call.
They're rare in America.
They're rare in America because this originated in Malaysia, so somehow they've come across in the last 50 years.
Right.
And they took Jesse's brother 27 years ago, and he wants to be able to handle this and do this and kind of avenge his
he's very
brother
angry.
Maddie's death.
He's very angry about it, almost to the point of annoyance sometimes in some of these scenes. I just felt like he was being
A little bit aggressive?
Yeah, a little aggressive and angry at the wrong people sometimes. But by the end, he was just this happy-go-lucky guy again.
Well, I suppose if you get that kind of closure, you may feel
a little bit better.
Avenged. So he mentions, though, Jesse mentions that 27 years ago, nobody believed him and thought that he was this crazy kid. And he mentions that they're a couple. And I know somebody earlier said the look on Sam or Dean's face when they said that, you know, Cesar and Jesse were a couple. Like, it was great. I loved it.
I thought it was going to be, the guy's name was going to be Jackie. From the beginning,
that they stayed like they were like childhood sweethearts and ended up together.
Yeah, I thought, but no.
But I think that might have been the fact that everyone probably thought that he was crazy.
Yeah, kind of made him an outcast.
And maybe he went a little bit of an outcast. Dean and Caesar go out to find the Chitters, and Caesar mentions that the Chitters are actually going to be gone tomorrow because it's like this time frame,
just like 3 days.
3 days, because once the women are impregnated and the babies are born, then they're gone, and then it's 27 years later, which is...
So are they like stirring up in the stomach for 27 years in like the dead female body?
No, I think they're born in 3 days. And then they grow up the next 27 years.
Where do they stay? Underground for 27 years?
I don't know where they go. Maybe they go back to, maybe they burrow for 27 years. They're like in hibernation, but it's a 27-year hibernation, which would seem crazy until maybe it's because they're not at their full potential till 27 years later.
To jump into a meat suit.
Mm-hmm. To jump into a meat suit. I don't know. I mean, it was creepy.
Yeah.
And Jesse and Sam, Jesse mentions that he looked for Maddie and he found him as a Chitter. He hasn't seen him since, and everyone thought Jesse was lying and that Maddie was his great brother.
Oh my gosh.
What?
The fact that he said, my mom thinks I should have saved him. Your brother is about to be 18, you were 12, and your mom's blaming you?
I mean, this is what I was saying about the girl. Like, it's not necessarily the girl's fault that the boyfriend died, because what was it? He did. Jesse went running after him. He did try to like find out what was going on, but there was nothing he could do at that point.
Right.
He's lucky that he got out alive at the end of the day, and then the mother didn't lose both of her children. But to blame it on the one child is...
That's terrible.
Crazy and ridiculous, the poor kid. Obviously, he's got a complex, which, you know, we kind of mentioned the anger.
Yeah.
So Caesar gets attacked. And he mentions that they're burrowing and that the males are protecting the females who are laying the eggs, which is the whole thought of insects laying eggs grosses me out. And cicadas make that really, in Wisconsin, there's cicadas in the summer and they make this really weird noise, and like you hear it.
Is it like a chitter?
It's like a chitter. It's worse. It's super annoying and it's kind of gross, and you feel like they're in the car with you when you're driving because you can hear them. Outside the car. Even over music, you can hear that like noise. It's really
Did
gross.
this noise freak you out then when you watched the episode?
It didn't freak me out. It just like was that kind of like just like weird creepy crawly feeling.
Yeah. When Caesar was attacked, I was worried about him being bitten, but I didn't want that to happen because I didn't want Jesse to lose somebody else. He clearly can't handle it. You know, because he's got a lot of other messed up things going on from the previous loss. So I thought maybe, though, he was...
I thought at first, too, and he had that look in his eye at one point when he was telling Dean something where I was like, he is going to all of a sudden his eyes are going to flash green or something, like Supernatural does, and make their eyes flash white or black or whatever it is. And I was waiting for that to happen. I totally agree with you, and I think some people thought the same thing.
Yeah.
So they go talk to Mr. Cochran, and he said he thought that this whole thing was done 27 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
He thought it was over. And
first he tries to say he doesn't remember anything.
He doesn't remember. And then he says he made his peace and he wants them to leave. And they get out of him that he tracked one down in 89 and it was sick and dying, and his daughter was there. And he didn't report her missing and let people think that she went on to like go be on her own.
She was supposed to go back to school.
And he let people think that, and because he didn't report her missing because he knew where she was.
And he killed her.
So he's got this like guilt about killing her. And he saw all these missing people there that had been reported missing, and they were scattered and dead. And they attacked him, so he had to kill his daughter. And Jesse's really mad that 27 years ago he didn't admit this, and both of them kind of worked together to figure out how to get rid of these monsters and make people think that he's not crazy.
Yeah, I think the whole thing too was that, you know, when Jesse first came to him, he didn't know this at that point. The sheriff had not stumbled across the borough, you know, so he thought he was crazy. You know, he's a little boy with an imagination, thinks he saw something that he probably didn't. And I feel like that's the sane way to think about things when somebody comes at you with that, you know. But then after seeing it, I understand where Jesse's upset because he just doesn't say anything. But him calling him like, oh, a little crazy at first isn't really that bad because he didn't stumble upon the stuff yet.
No. And so we get Dean and Caesar in the burrow/lair. Dean finds Libby pregnant. She's already dead, and he checks her pulse, but he sees like the little green underneath her.
It was chittering inside of her stomach.
Yeah.
Somebody in the chat says that they were getting a Jeepers Creepers feeling because it comes out every 23 years.
Yep.
Oh.
Good. That's a really good point as well. Both Dean and Caesar get attacked. They kill the two chitters that are attacking them, and they mention again that the men are waiting for the eggs to hatch. Sam and Jesse arrive. They know that they need to burn down this burrow because there's all these like, it's like a gopher hole where they have all these different ways that they can kind of get out, and ways they move underground. I mean, it's definitely. Ugh.
But do they all, you know, the people that get bit and they become a chitter, do they all just have like a 3-day lifespan at that point, and then they all die? And then it's just started over again, you know, with the little baby chitters?
I don't know. That's what I don't know, because obviously the females die. But so do the males die, or do they stay alive and just the eggs are in the hibernation?
Do the males crawl through the little holes that we saw that take them out to the world? And
that's why they had to burn it down. So when Jesse and Sam arrive, they go down there, and Jesse actually finds his brother Maddie, finds the buffalo nickel, and he's able to at least feel a little bit of closure and peace from the situation.
Oh, sad.
And then they burn down the burrow, hopefully killing everything in any future chitters that could come around, unless they're all in Malaysia and they're going to make their way back to the United States at some point.
I really like that they gave Maddie a proper burial too.
Which is great.
Yeah.
I mean, they were going to look around and see if they knew anybody else, but I mean, it's bones. So at least for Maddie, he got that burial that a hunter would want. And at the end of the episode, Sam points out that, you know, all these times when Dean and John had left, he thought about what could have attacked them or killed them. And, you know, Dean points out, he's like, we always came back.
It's such a Sam thing to say and such a Dean thing to respond with, you know. I mean, obviously it shows how much Sam cares about Dean and cared about his dad, you know. He was worried about them, which is totally justifiable because these creatures are crazy.
And Dean even mentions that maybe Caesar and Jesse can, like, be a part of a team. And this is kind of what we touched on earlier. Be part of the hunters going after Amara and the darkness.
Yeah.
And would they be interested in doing something like this? And just as they're having this conversation, Jesse points out that, you know, we're going to have our freedom. They're moving to Mexico. This is the time now that they can enjoy life.
There's
finally.
no way you can ask them at this point. They're ready to hang it up. They're ready to walk away.
Which, as a hunter, if you can walk away and be okay with walking away, you've avenged what you need to avenge.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like it would have not ended well if they did help with the Amara thing. You know, Amara is very powerful, and I think there's going to be some sort of casualty, you know, at the end of this when we do take down Amara, because I think we will. But you can't bring them into it. They're ready to quit. They're ready to go enjoy their life, or their lives.
Well, let's talk a little bit then about, let's get into some predictions for next week. Since you're talking about Amara fighting it.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
So, Metatron is watching the news, and guess what? The Grombies are back.
I knew
I'm
it.
so excited. My like little hashtagged word, Grombies, who Brandy loved that. Thank you, Brandy, for retweeting me. Anyway, they're back. Now, my question is, do you think this is a flashback, or do you think this is happening currently right now, and that this fog has continued to cover and continue to go across? Or do you think it's something that Amara has spun up like a little tornado out of anger to get God to show himself?
I think it's the present, and I think that that's a good point. She may have done some kind of a, you know, when she first got here, she sent this cloud, this fog, this storm thing, and it got people's attention. It got Sam and Dean's attention, how intense this is going to be, how scary this is going to be. So I think that maybe she's so mad it's not working by torturing Lucifer, so she starts hurting God's creation with this fog. And I love it because I think Metatron, he needs to help. And he's going to, you know, his attention is now focused on this because he's in danger himself, running around, whatever he's doing, being the Nightcrawler still. I don't know.
Well, I like, everyone I think always enjoys seeing Metatron coming back. Do you think that he's going to help the boys?
I think, I think it's going to be everybody all hands on deck situation when it actually goes down.
When it goes down. And you think they'll be able to kill Amara?
I do. It's like, you know, the only way. I mean, we got to have another, I mean, unless she goes into the season 12 storyline.
And then they kill her off in the first couple episodes or something?
Maybe.
And Amara has a message for the boys, as one of the police officers mentions. We don't know what it is. We'll find out next week. I agree with you, Katie. I mean, we've been talking about this for the last couple of weeks. I think there's going to be some sort of casualty. I've been saying it's probably going to be Cass. I hope that it's Lucifer. As much as I love Mark Pellegrino, and I think everybody loves him and his character, and what Misha Collins has created, being Lucifer and being Cat in Cass's body, but being Lucifer. I think that the person that would be easier to take the loss would be Lucifer.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling it's someone on the good side is going to be the casualty versus the evil side.
Yeah. Somebody just said if Amara's equal to God in power, shouldn't she know everything too? So,
I think because God has been around as long as he has more knowledge and more wisdom than she has, considering she's kind of just been released and has regrown up and studied all of the things in this quick amount of time.
In that way, then maybe she doesn't know her full potential, and she can know more than she thinks she can know. She just has to kind of learn, maybe. The whole thing about the officer saying, you know, I have a message for you, Dean, from Amara. Then we see the fog approaching on the boys as if they're about to be grombied. I mean, they can get in their car, though. They can get in their car, and if it doesn't touch them, then they're good. So,
yes.
But I feel like the message for Dean might be, you know what? You need to get somewhere safe because she can't hurt him, right? They have that bond.
They have the bond, and I don't think she would do anything to purposely hurt him. I don't know what that message is. I don't know. Maybe it's a message that she's like, you won't kill me. You won't try. And get into his head somehow, because we know he's going to have to.
Yeah. This is interesting too. They can't kill her off, period. They need to put her back into the mark.
Put her back into the mark?
Yeah, because that was the key to let her out.
To let her out?
Was it the key, or was it like where she was sitting? You know what I mean? Like, or she was, you know.
She was locked into it?
Somehow, and they could put her back, and the mark has to be put on somebody.
Just somebody else?
Yeah.
And we spent this whole time trying to get the mark off of Dean.
An entire season.
Oh gosh, there's so much, and we have 4 episodes left to figure out what's been going on. I don't think we're going to see Amara next episode. I don't think we're going to see Crowley. I think it's going to be the boys, Metatron, and Cassifer.
Well, I think we'll see Amara.
You think we will?
Yeah. Maybe torturing him and starting this Gromby thing.
That's true.
You know?
That's true. We're going to have to find out why the smoke is released.
Yeah.
All right, Katie, where can the people find you?
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter at KatieEE Campbell. That's Katie with 3 E's Campbell. Instagram at KatieCampbell13 and YouTube.com/KatieCampbellOnline. I have a vlog.
This is Lyndsey here. You guys can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Lyndsey Wegner. That's LYNDSEYWEGNER, or my blog, lyndseywegner.blogspot.com. I'm also doing Real Housewives of New York, which airs Wednesdays live at 7 p.m. We'll see you next week. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.